Hello, race fans. Welcome back to Freaky Fast Broadcasting. As tonight, once again, here on this wonderful Tuesday night, we have the ARCA Evolution Series as they take on the Milwaukee Mile here for 80 laps here at this historic racing track, the oldest racing racetrack in the world, operating racetrack in the world. So, it's going to be a fantastic night here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting, but we need to give a special shout out to our sponsors that help make it happen here at the Evolution Racing Leagues and Freaky Fast Broadcasting. And first, we want to shout out Or Nissan Central, the leading Nissan dealership in Oklahoma City. You can go check out their website at www.ornissancentral.com. Next, we have Sheffield Graphics, the leading designer in sim racing paint schemes and liveries. It was founded by a Navy veteran, and a portion of every paint goes to the Military Foundation Folds of Honor. It's a great nonprofit organization who gives sponsorship to the families of fallen soldiers and disabled veterans, so make sure to go check them out on Facebook under Sheffield Graphics. Next, we have ButtKicker. Every game deserves a truly immersive experience. The ButtKicker Gamer 2 lets you feel every detail, from the subtle footsteps to the rumble of a V10 powered race car, from the ambient environmental effects to the power of a nearby explosion. By moving a physical mass instead of only air, the Gamer 2 provides instant, accurate, powerful base response, and it's all perfectly synced with every game with no additional software required. So make sure you go to ButtKicker.com to check out their ButtKicker Gamer 2, there to feel what you've been missing and truly immerse yourself in these experiences like we have here on iRacing. Remember, you can go to ButtKicker.com and you can get 20% off by using promo code FreakyFast20. Remember, Freaky with two E's. That's FreakyFast20 for 20% off at ButtKicker.com of any purchase. So make sure you go there and use that promo because they're a proud sponsor here at the Evolution Racing Leagues and Freaky Fast Broadcasting. So we want to thank ButtKicker for being a proud partner. But back to tonight's situation here at the ARCA Evolution Series. I'm Zach Hall in the booth. Alongside me will be my partner in crime, Brandon Colley, and we'll have Robert Moyer Jr. running the cameras here tonight as our producer in the booth. Man, 80 laps here tonight at the Milwaukee Mile. Brandon, me and you don't have a lot of experience here, but man, I think we're going to learn along with these drivers pretty quickly how tough this racetrack is.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Zach. Only had to do a couple races at the Milwaukee Mile, and fortunately for me, it was in these ARCA cars, so I know a little bit what to expect here, but it was some time ago. For such an old racetrack, it's not really in a lot of schedules much anymore, and you can see some of these guys out here during practice, especially, I'm noticing they may not have a lot of experience at this track either. Seems to be catching some of these guys off guard. Looks like the exit's pretty loose, and also it's a bumpy track, old surface, and characteristic of pretty old tracks, the apron not all that smooth, pretty jagged, and sticks out in some spots. You gotta pay attention for that and try not to hit the curb and potentially get yourself in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, a lot of tricky spots around this racetrack these drivers are going to have to navigate tonight here at the Milwaukee Mile. Remember, like I said earlier in the broadcast, this is the oldest operating racetrack in the world. It was first opened as a horse racing track and then slowly transitioned from there into a dirt track and then from there into a asphalt 1 mile racing circuit here. And now is actually the venue for I believe the Wisconsin State Fair also. So, and I believe actually one point the Green Bay Packers used to play here. So this has been a very historic place. We're gonna have some historic racing here tonight as entering into this race as it is our 17th race of the season here in the ARCA Evolution Series. David Edwards is going to be that points leader here tonight. Remember, he's got that one win backing himself up. But a driver been making a charge forward has been Christopher Smerol, 29 points back in the second spot. Third is going to be Justin Malarkey, 90 points back. Both those teammates there in second and third. One other driver who's been making a pretty big storm is up to 12th now, points 3 spots up from last week, is Anthony Gaudio, as he has 4 wins to his self now as he continues to move up that board before the playoffs.
Yeah, Anthony, a little bit later start to the season than a lot of guys, but has really come out swinging since his debut in the ARC Evolution Series, and able to not only get those 4 wins, but we talked about it last week, just the streak of top 3 finishes. I believe it was 6, including last week. So looking for lucky number 7 at the Milwaukee Mile for that of the 3 of Anthony Gaudio.
He'll be definitely gunning for that here tonight, as these drivers have now entered the qualifying session here, and they will attempt their fastest times possible here to see if they can put themselves up front. And I think, the track like this, Brandon, a really flat racetrack like this, I think you're gonna want to have as good a track position as possible, because we know when it's flat like this, it is definitely going to be pretty hard to pass, I believe. But that's something we'll have to watch this race definitely goes on.
Well, track position, I think, definitely does not hurt no matter what track you go to, but a flat track like this, it opens up opportunities for guys that maybe are a little bit better on the long run, maybe better at saving their tires a little bit. Because it's so flat, there's not a lot of banking to help the car slow down in the corners. So going in super aggressively and just trying to get as much as you can on the entry, not going to work out in the long run. These cars don't have a lot of lateral grip as it is, and going in here, you're definitely going to kill that right front before too long. And at a short track, especially a flat one, that right front is everything.
Yeah, I think, like we were comparing this, track position to every track is important, just like that right front tire, I think, too, Brandon. So I think you're gonna have similar characteristics here, even though this track is so tricky and different from a lot of the ones we go to. But this track will still have those similar situations where you need to figure out how to save those tires and make them last to the very end of these runs, because, man, 80 laps here tonight, that is a longer distance here for these ARCA cars, and it's going to be pretty wild with a 50% fuel load and having 3 sets of tires. I definitely think we'll see most likely a 1-stop here, Brandon, but the possibility of a 2-stop will come into effect if we get some cautions.
Yeah, looking at the fuel load, I'd have to imagine that it's probably going to be right around that 35 to 45 lap marker there, right around halfway to be able to do the 1-stop here. But 2-stop may not be out of the question. Like I said, not having the most experience here to know exactly what the fuel mileage should be for a full tank. Hard to get that solid estimate there, but going to be, again, a learning experience for all of us here. Hopefully these guys have done their practice throughout the week and they're on top of it, because if they don't know, we definitely are up the creek here.
Yeah, never want to be up the creek without a paddle, for sure, as these drivers are still in the qualifying session. You're trying to get that Sheffield Graphics Pole Award. But I tell you what, the driver who continues, we talked about his momentum, continues to show, is Anthony Gaudio, man. He's put himself up top now with a 30.55 over Chris Smerol there with a 30.68. So what a time for those top 2 drivers. But Anthony Gaudio pretty much backing up what he ran in practice.
Yeah, only a couple hundred slower, 30.538 in practice for and qualifying at 30.554. Anthony or Christopher Smerol rather, just a little bit off, about 2/10, a little less than 2/10 off in his time, but still seconds, not that bad.
Second would not be a bad starting position at all. It's going to be good track position and something he can learn. We've seen Christopher Smerol, his strong suits usually are longer runs. So we'll have to see if that plays in his factor. Same with Anthony Gaudio. These two up here up front are a two-headed dragon, I would say, when it comes to their races. They seem very similar in pace all around. And same with the rest of the field, but I also could see something happening where this is such a weird racetrack and different out of the box racetrack that we could see somebody who normally probably doesn't get as good of runs have a great run. And right now, sitting third, Harold Rothery, that's looking like his best start to any race so far.
Yeah, the 4 of Harold Rothery having a really good qualifying effort out here. A little bit off the pace for qualifying, but qualifying's only on that 2-lap hot lap speed there, trying to get the fastest lap you can. Long run going to be crucial here, and good chance to learn from some of the fast guys that Harold's not normally around. Having a really good run here tonight, very well, like you said, could be his night to shine.
Could be his night to shine, but who's shining right now is Anthony Gaudio, as he'll bring home that Sheffield Graphics Pole Award. Here as we bring up our qualifying results. Second's going to go to The 14, Christopher Schmerol. Third is going to be Harold Rothery. Fourth is going to be our points leader, David Edwards. Fifth is going to be Brian Fine in that 98 machine. Sixth is going to be Stephen Carey. Seventh, Jeff Carson. Eighth is going to go to Matt Upbrook. Ninth is going to be Justin Hendry. 10th is going to go to Josh Holmes in the 000. 11th is Justin Malarkey. 12th is going to go to Jake Cachet. 13th is going to be Richard Gonzalez. 13th is going to be Richard Gonzalez. 14th is going to be Zach Sandlin. 15th will be Steven Rasick. 17th will be James Wright. And 16th will be James Wright. And 17th will be Bob Fitzpatrick Sr. As that is your starting grid here tonight for the ARCA Evolution Series. As now we'll go ahead and bring up from JCR Racing, Anthony Gaudio, to talk about his Sheffield Graphics pole here he's grabbed.
Hey, Anthony, it's Brandon up in the booth. You got a copy?
Going on, man.
Well, yet again, talking to you before the start of one of these races. Congrats again on getting the Sheffield Graphics Pole Award here at the Milwaukee Mile. Well, we talked about it last week, that impressive streak of top threes you've got going on here. Looking to add another one, lucky number 7 this week. You know, talked about not having a lot of experience here. It's not a track that comes up very often in a lot of schedules, man. Out there putting down quick times. What can we expect tonight?
I think it's going to be a hit or miss. I mean, I think it's just going to be about staying alive, keeping the tires alive. There's the passing opportunities are not the greatest, so that's why I was shooting for a nice hot lap. Luckily, I got up front. That's great. I mean, just got to keep it alive. And I never ran here before. I actually just purchased the track, so this is very, very new to me. But I don't know. Seems like I got a pretty quick car. Let's see if we can do good in the race trim.
Well, we'll be keeping an eye on that, bud, and let you get back down there to start this thing. Wish you the best of luck. Hopefully we will talk to you at the end of the race here.
Appreciate it, guys. Enjoy the race.
All right, that was your Sheffield Graphics pole winner there of Anthony Gaudio. There you see that beautiful number 3 machine rolling through 3 and 4 as we'll get ready to take this green flag here. As the pace car will look to take its left-hand turn down the pit road. And there it is, green flag in the air, and we're off and away as Anthony Gaudio leads us down to turn number 1. Christopher Schmerol fighting hard on the outside line. Harold Rothery there in the 4, sliding on through. Can the 14 make the outside work? We're going to see him fight side by side down the back straightaway.
Harold almost got a really good run to go 3 wide there, but the outside prevailing here on the restart. I don't imagine it's going to prevail for long. If you can get something to work out there, you got to do it right now.
Yeah, I think this is a good time to get it done if we're going to ever get it done. Anthony Gaudio is still trying to slide up past that 14 on the outside, but Schmerol hanging tough on the outside. That bottom lane, though, is going to be the place where you want to be. Schmerol is going to be looking to get down there as soon as possible. Because now the 4 will try to slide past. This is going to let David Edwards possibly get to the inside also of the 14.
And it's one of those things I was talking about at the start of the race, how the apron is not quite smooth. It kind of juts out in a couple places, turn 1 and 2 especially, right about the center. The curb just seems to stick out a good bit. Oh, it's Harold Rothery, oh no! Girl, great save. Oh man, that was almost disastrous.
What a save. Pressed that brake in, got that thing back around, and he's going to save that car and fight for another day as he loses track position back to that 9th position. It looks like now back to 10th. But definitely better than a wrecked race car is now. Schmerol makes it past David Edwards to put himself back up to 2nd, and Edwards back to 3rd, with Carson sitting in 4th.
Yeah, Jeff Carson having a pretty strong run already, up 3 positions in the 4th spot. Stephen Carey up to 5th now, looking to charge forward here. But while this is all going on, this has allowed Anthony Gaudio now out to almost a 7/10 of a second lead here.
With a lot of unexperienced, it seems like a lot of drivers, like we're talking about, even me and you both, Brandon, very limited races here. A lot of drivers out here seem like they have limited experience here. What do they know about tire wear? Look at Anthony Gaudio running a completely different line where he comes up out of the groove and then kind of transverse into it as a wide arc. I'm interested to see what type of fall off we see, and I think we're going to see a good bit of comers and goers as this race continues on into this green condition.
Well, I'm liking what his line is. For the couple races that I did here, I tried to do something similar just because of how the center 1 and 2, that curve there, you'll see it just kind of juts out a little bit, and you take a wider entry to not have to check up in the center to make sure that you're not pushing really wide trying to get around that bit of curve. And it allows you to get a bit of a straighter exit. But looking at Chris Schmerol, he's really diving it in. really close to the pit road wall and then kind of washes out a little bit and then finds that seam flawlessly and then just sticks straight to the apron, gets a good run off. What will be good for tire wear, we will have to find out, but both lines looking pretty solid right now, but Chris Merle is slowly reeling in the 3.
Yeah, he's running the more traditional line, I would say, here for the Milwaukee Mile. That's going to be the line you're going to see most of drivers elect to take, is pretty early onto that asphalt strip down there, that newer strip of asphalt, and a lot more grip there. As you see, look at this Merle again closing in there, and he's keeping pretty even through center and exit, and that's the key. He's gaining time there and then keeping even everywhere else, and that's how you use your entry to your advantage.
Well, the thing is that he's getting a really good entry and able to roll through the center pretty well, but because it's a very one-lane racetrack here, he can roll the center very well, but if Anthony's in his way, he's going to have to check up to avoid running him over, and he's going to have to figure out a way to get a good run out and try to time it to get the nose inside of the 3 going into the corner where he's got such a big advantage right now.
Yeah, it looks like the field's starting to get a little bit spread out here now. As this is somewhat similar to Milwaukee Mile. You know, this is a mile racetrack, but this place has tendencies of a bigger racetrack, in my opinion, where it kind of spreads out, and you have little battles all over the place.
Well, you know, we talked about Pocono last week, turn 3, and these guys getting a bit of practice for Milwaukee here. It reminds me a lot of that as well, where, you know, once the run goes on, everybody just gets very single filed out, and you get these little packs of cars that are battling with a lot of space in between them. And we're seeing that so far here. Field pretty well spread out. I mean, leaders now coming out of turn 4, guys still in the center of the backstretch.
Riding on board here, you can see this track. It's a pretty wild track here with more Jeff Carson. You see all over the back bumper here. David Edwards looking to get straight there in the center. Now a little bit on that curve. Edwards gets to drive off though and drives away from it. So it like you said, it's got not a perfect round shape, and that really affects how the line these drivers run. And it makes for some interesting racing when you have guys doing different things, and that's what I like about it so far. But look at this, now we jump into the front bumper cam of the 14 of Chris Merle. He is all over the 3 Anthony Gaudier. I mean, he was the fastest man in practice. Did not get that pole award, but he's been looking at the back bumper of this 3 the past few weeks personally, as Merle was the man with the hot hand a few weeks ago. Now the 3 Anthony Gaudier is the guy with the hot hand. You got to get that back going before into the playoffs, though, in my opinion. Yeah,
try to generate the momentum and, you know, try to get a leg up on what you would feel is your nearest competition. It seems to be these 2 guys duking it out each and every week here. And like we talked about at the top of the broadcast, they're so similar on pace that a lot of weeks it comes down to just who happens to be in the lead at the right time and has that track position, because it's so hard for them to pass each other with their pace being so similar seemingly everywhere they go.
Yeah, it's an interesting battle shaking up right there between those 2. Looks like Stephen Carey's got Brian Fine in the 98, taking position for him to put himself up into the top 5 now. And Brian Fine was a driver also looking pretty quick in practice. He could possibly be one going forward as the run goes on, as Stephen Carey there you now see dropping back to that 6th position after starting in 6th. So those 2 trading positions back to where they started. Let's see if that 98 starts to go forward. From what I'm looking like, it looks like he's getting some big drive off.
Well, it looks like last time by, the 98 of Brian Fine and the 15 of David Edwards were the fastest cars on the racetrack by a 10th or more over everyone else. And also, while all that was going on, Chris Merle able to make the pass on the 3 of Anthony Gaudier for the lead. Yeah,
makes that pass for the lead and is starting to check out a little bit here. Let's see if David Edwards, our points leader, he needs some good momentum to roll himself back into those playoffs. Remember, he got a top 3 not too long ago, and is trying to get back on that podium streak here for this number 15, who started the season off so hot. And that's kind of been the interesting thing. We had David Edwards as the hot hand at the beginning of the season. Then I think it switched to Hunter Hayward. Then it went to Chris Merle. Now it's Anthony Gaudier. Who else is going to fire back and try to take that momentum swing before these playoffs kick off if we jump back to 12th? The 57 is Zach Sanders.
Well, it's a really good question. There's a lot of guys that are starting to show a lot more pace toward the later part of this season. And one of those I have to say is Jeff Carson. It seems like ever since the All-Star race, he's just had so much more pace. I don't know if it's just because the confidence boost from the All-Star race, or you know, just stringing together good finishes and being able to learn from a lot of guys. But it's definitely helped, and he's been a contender each and every week.
The 6 of Richard Gonzalez right now. He's running the 14th position, so down one spot from his 13th start position. You can see there back in his rear view, that is going to be the 15th of James Wright and the 2 of Steven Rasick, as they run the 15th and 16th position, 12 and 13 seconds behind the leader, Chris Morrow, as Audio still hangs up to that second spot with David Edwards in tow in third. This field definitely spreading out here. This is going to be an interesting phase. If they can make 80 laps on 100% fuel tank, we should see these guys stop around 40 to split this thing up. But if they cannot make it to that halfway distance at 40, you're going to see these guys probably start coming in around lap 30, 25 to 30, really.
And a bit interesting here, I just noticed that we're pretty accustomed to seeing the ARCA Evolution Series only have that one set of tires to change for the race. These guys have 2 here today. So either the tire wear is extremely aggressive at the Milwaukee Mile, or they're thinking they're going to have to make more pit stops than they were anticipating with this 50% fuel load. So you're very well maybe on track there with that 25 laps roughly. Maybe splitting it into thirds. We will have to see here. That definitely shakes things up a good bit and really opens up the door for a lot more differing pit strategies.
Well, it looks like 48 Bob Fitzpatrick Sr. just came off the pit road, so maybe he's elected to go to that 2-stop. Let's see here, stopping on lap number 17 for him. So very early in the run for a stop for that 48, as he will be the first car to be a lap down. As we look at the 000, Josh Holmes, he's making it a little bit of a charge forward. He's got Harold Rothery, who's starting that third position in that nice spot right behind him. But the 000 all over the back of Matt Opruk and trying to get up into the top 7 here after starting to.
Yeah, looking pretty good for the 000, Josh Holmes. It seems like Josh is pretty good at the short tracks. Had a really good result when we went to Martinsville. And also Richmond running pretty well there. Imagine if maybe we get some cautions to bunch these guys back up and see if he can contend with them just a little bit more, not having as big of a distance that he's having to make up. But sitting in 8th right now and looking like he's got plenty of speed. Maybe struggling with some rear grip right now, getting some drive off the corners. But I imagine we might see the 000 break into the top 5 before this is all said and done.
Yeah, he's been looking very good there, Brandon. But now we've built back to the 73 with Justin Malarkey running in 10th. 2 spots behind there of Josh Holmes. He's also looking pretty good as he starts to close in the back of the 4 of Harold Rothery. So a lot of little battles here heating up as this run continues on lap 21. As Chris Morrow still a 16th second lead over Anthony Gaudio out front as David Edwards starting to drop back with Jeff Carson. Brian Fine rounding out your top 5. It's Brian Fine with that 98. He is all over the back of the 81. Jeff Carson possibly looking to the inside down the back straightaway here. Let's see if he can make a move. Carson's going to cover it off and clear him down into the entry here. And Fine's going to have to work him over another one.
Well, lap time's starting to kind of ebb and flow here. Our leaders last time by were dead even. This time, Chris Morrow picked it up a good bit. David Edwards, a couple tenths off Anthony Gaudio directly ahead of him. But right now, it seems like it has transitioned. We had David Edwards and Brian Fine quickest cars on the racetrack. Now it's kind of transitioned back to Chris Morrow finding the long run pace here. But guys still on the move. And again, as the run goes on, it's, going to see guys maybe pushing a little bit too much on these older tires, heating up that right front. And it kind of goes that way where you overdrive just a little bit and slow down on the lap times, then the tires cool back off and you can get back after it again. It's finding that delicate middle ground where you don't have to lose too much time cooling the tires back off and you keep that consistent pace.
Yeah, 2 up front looking very quick right now too for lap times as I go through the field. Sproul though, only driver near that 31 flat time there with a 31.18. Compared to Anthony Gaudio's last time by 31.37, but I think Gaudio a little bit quicker this time by And we'll actually bring up on our ticker here, as you can see their last lap times by. Look at that, 31:28 for Anthony Gaudio to a 31:57 for Chris Smerol. That right there, a good difference, and Gaudio able to make up a little bit of time there for the driver.
And for as low speed as these corners are, a slight hiccup in the corner, maybe getting to the throttle a little bit too soon, going in a little bit too hot, having to wait to get back to the throttle, can add up to a lot of time on the racetrack. Ooh, as I was watching David Edwards there, big wiggle out of turn 4. Looks like it's going to open the door for Brian Fine to make the pass for 4th.
Yeah, Brian Fine's been trying to make that pass for so many laps. Finally gets it done, and now he gets past David Edwards as he'll try to run down Jeff Carson, who he was trying to pass there, I said, for a while, but just noticed that it was David Edwards. So, yeah, they both got past David Edwards, sliding him back to 5th. Now, Jeff Carson up to 3rd, and Brian Fine up to 4th.
Stephen Carey stalking behind our 5th place position of David Edwards now. Last time by, about half a second quicker almost. So a lot of pace there for Stephen Carey. Late into the run here, lap 27, coming to 28 this time by. I'm pretty surprised at how drastically different a lot of these lap times are. I figured they'd be pretty similar with it being a short track, but you know, a lot of gaps in between varying positions here.
Yeah, it's kind of like I said earlier, it's like ebb and flowing back and forth between lap times, especially between our leaders up front. As you see, we're jumping through the field here with the Ada James right there running in that 15th position. He's directly behind Zach Sandlin, catching him for 14th, so not too far behind there for that 14th position. But man, right now, if I'm a Cup Series driver, you know, we got a Cup race coming up here later here at the Milwaukee Mile. And man, if I'm a Cup Series driver, Brandon, I am paying attention to this race and seeing what I can learn, because yeah, different cars, way different cars personally, but you can learn a lot, I feel like, from this racetrack tonight, just watching this race.
Well, I think you know, the biggest thing that they can take away from it is seeing the way that these ARCA cars handle, knowing that the Cup cars have a lot more horsepower, a lot more straight line speed, but they traditionally don't handle all that well in the flatter racetracks. So seeing these guys, some of these guys already have problems getting off the corner. I'm going to be paying attention to that to make sure that you're trying to make your adjustments to you know, not maybe have a self spinner or spin in front of the field, catch anybody caught up with that. You know, also seeing what the pace is like. Like we said, a big learning experience for everybody here, and just trying to figure out little things maybe you can take in to your Cup race and see if it'll make the difference for you.
Could be that little bit of difference they need to be able to get into position there. As lap 31 of 80 here, with Sproul still a half-second lead over that 3 Anthony Gaudio. Anthony Gaudio is definitely giving Sproul the pressure that's going to be tough to pull off. And also, this is going to make him question when he wants to pit. I mean, we're at lap 31 now. I believe these guys should be able to make it a one-stop race here if they can get to that 40 mark. But then the question is, do you hit at 40, or do you go as long as possible? Does he give up the lead? I mean, you know, this is not easy for Smerol out front right now, as he's the driver getting chased by the driver who can really sit behind him watching to kind of go off his own strategy.
Well, I would have to say, Zach, as a driver, thinking about my strategy here, looking at it, it's not something that you're going to really realize in the car exactly what the fall off is. But right now, looking at it, it's only a little over a second, so not that much fall off before these tires really even out. I think my strategy would be, was Chris Smerol with a big slide going into turn 1 there. I think he may have misjudged his entry a little bit, allowed Anthony Gaudio to close in, but I would have to say probably go out as long as possible to have the fresher tires at the end there. I think that's going to make the difference if you can go a little bit longer than lap 40.
And Smerol has got pressure now as we're looking for the back bumper cam. The back bumper cam is filled up with a gold number 3 Good Range machine here as it's closed in. And thank you guys out there for tuning in here tonight. We got Travis Everett out there. He said, yeah, definitely pay attention. And he's still going to suck it up. But Travis, I tell you what, buddy, I've seen you do some amazing things out there. I would not put it past you to be able to pull off some type of good finish here tonight, buddy. So keep the spirits up. You never know out there as we'll head into the Cup race later. But look at this battle here. Stephen Carey involved in this. David Edwards, Stephen Rasick, as I believe Rasick is on new tires, I believe. Yes, he is. Where's he get? Oh, sorry, he's not. Sorry, he is not on new tires. He is actually a lap down. Sorry, so confirmed there. So that is Stephen Carey and David Edwards there, and that's going to be the battle for a top 5 there as those two get close. And also Brian Fine all over the back of Jeff Carson now again is really it's kind of like packs of 2. We got first and second on top of each other. We got third and fourth right next to each other, and then fifth and sixth. So it's really cool battles going on throughout the whole entire week.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was talking about where I said it was like Pocono. You got these, tiny packs that form amongst themselves where they're battling, then it's a big gap to the next pack. And seeing that for sure between, the first 6 positions, it's 2 by 2 with a decent-sized gap between everybody. They're just kind of battling amongst themselves, and it's actually a good position to be in because you can afford to spend some time trying different things to see if you can gain some speed and get a good run and maybe take that inside lane away into the next set of corners without having to worry about somebody battling you from behind if you were that trailing car.
Well, this season right here is getting down, Brandon, to the point of the season where it's everything or nothing to make that playoffs. And right now, we're at the Milwaukee Mile. Next, we're going to hit the Indianapolis Speedway, and then we're going to hit Michigan and then Texas. So we got 3 races left after tonight in the regular season before we head off to the round of 16 to Chicagoland. And man, what an exciting future we got in store here. But these next 4 races, including tonight, will be just really close and all about getting into that top 16.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see if anybody maybe is a ringer for Indy. It's a pretty unique track that we're going to be going to next week, he said. So, especially in these ARCA cars, can't even remember the last time I saw a race at Indy in the ARCA cars or did one myself. So, oh no, James Wright's around.
Oh no, first caution of the night brought to you by Orr Nissan Central. And it's James Wright going around here on lap 39. We'll have to go back on the freaky fast replay and see exactly what happened today. We see James Wright running that 16th position right now, 2 laps down. Here's we'll see the replay going through 3 and 4 as he's right around that curb. Looks like he's going to catch maybe a little bit of that curb, possibly. Or no, just get a little bit wide.
It's unfortunate. Just came in and made his pit stop there, hoping to gain a bit of an undercut and jump these guys. But really, that is absolutely disastrous for his race because now it's going to trap him 2 laps down here. Not going to be able to cycle back to the lead lap. Going to be hoping for some more cautions to offset this slight mistake out of the 8.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate mistake there. Cold tires, I think, just catching him off guard, thinking there's going to be more grip there. And, man, you're going to see it slip away from him there. So now all these drivers hit pit road, and we have a good old freaky fast pit party. As it looks like Chris Morrow is going to pull off a pit road and win the race off pit road here. As that was a heck of a battle. You know what? Would you want to bring up Chris Morrow here and see what he has to say about that first run?
Absolutely.
Let's bring up Chris Morrow from Mr. 73 Racing here at this ARCA team and see what he has to say about leading this first half of this race.
Hey, Chris, it's Brandon up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, yeah, good copy. How you doing?
I can't complain, man. Enjoying watching you guys do battle out here. And gotta ask, that first run there, pretty long run, pretty much split it right in the middle for you guys with this this caution. Kind of timed it out pretty nicely. It looked like the pace was kind of back and forth quite a bit. What are the struggles out there, and what are you feeling in the car?
Yeah, well, I just can't shake Anthony. That's for dang sure. I was about to pit in the next couple laps anyway, so that really was, for all the ill-timed cautions that I've had, that one came out at just the right spot. But really, it's I think it's going to come down to who can maintain just a little bit of the tires. I just don't see a way to pass on the outside. So fighting for every single position on the track is going to be paramount come the end of it. So hopefully we can just be out front if there's any more cautions and stay there, because staying outside. It's the baby show, exactly right. The sleepless nights of Evolution Racing League here.
Well, if sleepless nights is what it takes to be fast, man, I feel like I should be in the Coke Series by now. But you guys definitely making it work out there. It seems like you two are the guys to beat seemingly every week, just battling amongst each other. Pace so similar. And it looked like the middle run you had him pretty covered, but the late run there maybe struggling with the entry a little bit. Seemed like you got out of shape a couple times. Any adjustments maybe you can make for that?
Yeah, I think I just need to take it a little easy on the corner entry and just stop making mistakes. That's the big thing. And I feel like I could slowly pull away, but he's just so much more consistent than I am right now. Just erased any gains that I made. So, and obviously he was coming on strong there at the end.
All right, bud, let you get back down there. Going to go green here in a moment, and wish you the best of luck, and hopefully talk to you at the end of this thing.
Appreciate it.
All right, there you heard from our race leader, Christopher Smurl. So ride on board with him here as we're getting ready to take the second green flag of this evening. Green flag's in the air. And we're off and away down to turn one here. Smurl leading the way. Looks like Gaudio going to give way as he clears. It's going to be the 1-2 positions now. Cleared up.
Oh, and Harold Rothery back here in the 8th position, trying to take advantage of this restart to gain back the track position he lost at the start of this race. Thought about going 3 wide there for a moment, decided better of it. Now trying to work the outside of the 15 to David Edwards.
Wow, and I tell you what, I think the 3 of Anthony Gaudio, he wants to get out front here, get the lead, and be able to hold off Smurl. That's the thing, he had the lead last time Smurl took it from him, but he looked quicker at the end of the run. If he can get out front, stay out front, and be quicker than your run still, then he should be able to pull away. But man, look at the ballot going on back here. Great stuff. Stephen Carey sliding a little bit on the curves as it's going to all shake up from there on back.
This guy's battling really hard. Harold Rothery getting a little scuff of the wall on the back stretch. They're going to be losing a little bit of time, but just stuck on the outside. Can't seem to do anything. Just going to have to fall to the back here and get back in line behind Josh Holmes. It's almost like a slightly bigger Martinsville. Just the outside not seeming to work very well. And if you start on the outside, you kind of just get stuck there and have to find a spot in line.
Yeah, it is very similar to Martinsville, I feel like, Brandon. You get stuck out there and you're just going to go backwards at some point. I mean, it's just a non-workable groove out there. You have to be on that bottom. I mean, we're seeing it from everybody here. And, yeah, gotta get down low. Cannot get up high or you will be going backwards as Harold Rothery will make the pass on Josh Holmes. That's 8th position there they're battling for off of turn number 2 here. But, man, what a beautiful racetrack, old racetrack too. Like I said, this track is from the 1800s. I mean, it was a horse racing track. It's gone through so many different changes, and so glad that iRacing is a beautiful service that we have to be able to go and race racetracks like this that may not be here one day. This track has definitely not seen the love that it deserves over the past, I'd say, 10 years, this past decade, and man, iRacing now, we have it preserved and we'll be able to race the Milwaukee Mile forever.
And it's really cool that we have the the technology to be able to preserve these types of racetrack. The sad news is that technology not as far ahead as some would like, and there's a lot of racetracks that we're not going to get the opportunity to be preserved, like Milwaukee or North Wilkesboro. That just aren't around anymore, got torn down a long time ago, that we just can't get back, but we've got these to cherish, and cherish them we will.
Yeah, definitely got to cherish the ones we got. As we're on board here with Jake Shea, you can see right there to the inside of him, that is the 57 of Zach Sandlin. They're battling for that 12th position. Looks like Sandlin Bill, yeah, there you can see, look at that groove, it's just so much more grip down low. Sandlin makes the easy pass off the bottom and even gets the drive off. That's the thing. You would think the outside would get the drive off, but the drive off is from that bottom strip of asphalt down there.
It's a tremendous difference in speed and pace. Just that little bit of asphalt will make. and seeing it there for sure. Just that drive off, like you said. Really, that's the key to everything at a short track is that launch out of the corner. That's where you've got to be your best, I feel like, to make a lot of passes. Everybody tries to be aggressive into the corners, but if you can be strong out of the corners, you're going to be very tough to pass.
And I think that's the key to this track course. I mean, it's got very long corners, but the straights are just so long. You know, just getting these big runs that lead down these straights, you can really set them a class. As this time by here when it's
Gosh, Holmes.
Looks like Holmes goes around for our second Warren Nissan Central caution of the night, as that 000 is going to get back going, but that's going to bring out the yellow. Now the question all these drivers got to ask: do they fit in here with 30 to go?
I think if you're somebody at the back, come in and take a little bit more fuel. It might loosen you up a little bit later in the run, but the big question is, do you take your last set of tires now? We've still got 30 laps to go at this point. We may get another caution. Do you want to risk throwing that set on now? And is it going to make that big of a difference? We saw, the lap times, they fall off about a second. Not sure exactly what they ran before everybody slowed down for the yellow here, but I don't think they've fallen off to a second just yet.
Yeah, it's going to be a big question there. As you can see, Josh Holmes there going for the slide in 1 and 2 off of the exit there, going to lose it. And they'll bring out that yellow, but Holmes still with a good run going on. And it looks like nobody yet has elected to hit pit road. Did we see any of the drivers near the rear of this field? I'm surprised a few have not took a chance at that, but looks like most drivers will stay out here with only 10 laps on these tires.
Well, Josh Holmes making a super late decision there to come in, maybe electing to throw on that last set after that big slide there. Have to see if he jacks the car up. And he does. Oh, he does. Oh, that was a late pit crew. Got around to the right side a little bit slow, but looks like Josh Holmes will be putting those tires, that last set of tires, on the 000.
And just while we're under this caution here, taking a look at the point standings, looks like right now in that 16th position airing points here tonight, Brandon is Zach Sandlin 10 points above Justin Hendry, and then another 27 down to Kevin Dowd. So those are drivers really on the edge of that bubble. Matthew Dude is only he's 28 points ahead of Zach Sandlin, so he's got a good gap there. But man, Sandlin right now on the edge. He's got Hendry and Dowd to deal with. I don't believe Dowd is here tonight on the racetrack. No, he is not, but Justin Hendry is. And right now, those two, 9th and 11th, those are the two that are going to be battling for this final position.
And really not wanting to miss races, especially when you're so close to a bubble position here, trying to get all the points you can as the playoffs are looming ever closer. Right now, like you said, Sandlin just ahead of Justin Hendry in points, and just ahead of him on the racetrack here. Justin Hendry hoping to have a really good day versus that of the 57 to try to gain into that 10-point deficit that he's got there, trying to make it into the playoffs.
These drivers doing everything they can to try to make these playoffs to have a shot at a championship here at the ARCA Evolution Series here at the Evolution Racing Leagues. What a great league they put on here, and a lot of prizes are up available for these drivers too in those playoffs. So cannot wait to see who can bring those home, as it looks like possibly this time we'll get them double filed up with the lights out. Here's what Gary go back green flag races. We're in 1 and 2 pacing this time. But I just want to shout out to all the fans out there viewing tonight on YouTube. Thank you all so much for tuning in. It is much appreciated. We got 5 thumbs up out there. We really appreciate those. See if we can get that number up there a little bit higher. That'd be nice to see. And then also out there, just want to say thank you to all the people who've been subscribing to, who have come over from Facebook and from our past broadcast, because we're trying to get to that 900 mark and possibly 1,000 by the end of the year. Definitely got some goals coming up. Right now we're at 873. So if you ain't hit that subscribe button, make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit the bell while you're at it too, so you can be notified when we go live, because these drivers right here put on a show each and every Tuesday, so don't miss out on that action here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. But look at this pace car going to pull in this time after our second caution of the evening, brought to you by Nissan Central. The green flag is back out in the air, and what a jump from Anthony Gaudio on the outside line. Looks like he'll enter side by side with Sparrow. Can Sparrow continue to get the run off? It looks like Gaudio there as they exit off of 2.
Well, in the entries that I'm looking at for Chris Sparrow, it looks like he's got a lot of rear brake dialed into the 14. Things stepping out quite a bit, being aggressive, getting in. The amount of brake he's having to put in it to keep on the bottom there. Oh, wow. Anthony Gaudio, great run out of turn 4 there, making the outside work for now.
Yeah, let's say he's going to give it up there into 1 and 2, slide back down to the bottom as we ride on board with the 83 of Stephen Carey here. He's behind Jeff Carson in that 4th position with the 98 of Brian Fine up in 3rd. That's these top 4 positions right now right on top of each other, and almost some contact between Jeff Carson and Brian Fine to the center of 3 and 4.
Yeah, I kind of checked everybody up ahead of him there, guys getting on the binders, and David Edwards having to jump out of line to avoid running into the back of the 4 of Harold Rothery. So going to be 1 position down for David Edwards, now back to 8th.
That's not something David Edwards wants to see. He wants to hold on to this regular season championship. And with Sparrow out front leading, that points gap he has over him is dropping. And with 3 races left, if Sparrow can keep putting nice little chunks of points in between those 2, then he has a good shot possibly at getting up to that regular season champion spot. But man, what race we got going on back here too with the 60 of Matt Upbrook. He's going to the inside of Steve Racing, and that too is Racing has got back on the lead lap after those cautions. So good to see that for that too. We're back out on the lead lap.
Yeah, I've been noticing Steven trying in a very unorthodox lane. He's been running a lot higher than a number of guys I've been seeing, just trying to find something out there. But unfortunately for the 2 of Steven Racing, it's just not going to work out there. Oh, and Josh Holmes hard into the wall.
Oh man.
Tires. Ooh.
Yeah, I think it's hurt. And look, it got some damage possibly on that right front tire, but looks like it's all good as he keeps it going. He's behind the 48 of Bob Fitzpatrick Sr. here, who is 2 laps down the 17th spot. This is not a race for position, but they are 16th and 17th.
Yeah, just the woes continue for Josh Holmes. Got a little bit loose out of turn number 2 last time. And overcorrection, got into the wall, and the way that these ARCA cars are set up, when he hit the wall, it just popped the tires up off the ground, and he became a bicycle for a little while.
Yeah, he pogoed around there for a minute, definitely bicycling that car, and heavy contact though, unfortunate for him. But here comes the 73 of Justin Malarkey to the inside of Harold Rothery. Got that great qualifying spot. This is the battle for 6th here. Justin Malarkey all day long. Started at 11, trying to fight his way forward. This is a nice a little contact between him and the 4 of Harold Rothery. Rothery goes sideways, no caution yet, as I believe they're going to be able to get it going straight here as they exit off at 2, but that's going to lose both of them. Multiple positions. Malarkey back to the 10th position, Rothery back to 12th.
Well, that did a lot of favors for Justin Hendry, able to pull out quite a bit of a gap on Sandlin behind him, who is battling in points. And I also have to point out, I believe it was that of Matthew Dude not making the race. So Sandlin being 28 points behind him very well could take over that 15th position. That may move Kevin fighting with the for the bubble position with Justin Hendry, and Justin Hendry would definitely be within 10 points of Matthew Dude under that that scenario there. So this is definitely going to be helping Justin Hendry even more. He needs to gain as many positions as he can. That one race that Matthew's going to miss may be the difference here.
Yeah, I also think Steve Potter only 2 points above that too, Matthew Dude, and he's not here. So a lot of situations popping up here with 18 to go now for Christopher Sparrow. And it looks like drivers getting into the wall here off of turn number 2 as we're coming down to the end of this race. Malarkey and Rothery both having issues.
Looking at the 77 of Jake Ashay back here battling. These guys are so much more on edge than we were at the start of the race, just realizing, hey, the laps are winding down here. We've still got another set, so go ahead and get everything you can out of these. If we get a late caution, go ahead and slap them stickers on and see what we can get. But man, hoping that the 77 has a good race. Been really up and down season so far. Just has not been able to string together those good finishes and keeps seemingly finding himself in trouble. Got a pretty clean race car here today, looking to take advantage of it.
Look at this battle here. The 6 of Richard Gonzalez going to the inside of Justin Hendry. That's going to push him up to that 8th position, and Hendry back to 9th. And Hendry and Sandlin battling for that points battle right now, separated in 9th and 10th.
Yeah, that pass by Richard Gonzalez really opened up the door for Zach Sandlin there to follow suit on the inside of the 28. And one thing I'm noticing out of Zach Sandlin, really pinching down the exit of the corner. He's getting such a good run off. Everybody else sweeping out pretty wide, racing around him right now, whereas his exit a lot straighter and just kind of cutting the course a little bit there and cutting down on the lap times and getting a lot of good speed out of it.
This is the race he needs a good run at if he wants to make that top 16. Here comes Harold Rothman trying to fight his way back. Now, as he gets into the top 10, that drops Justin Hendry outside the top 10 back to 11th. As next behind him will be Justin Milwaukee. Let's see if the Justin and Justin show will happen, but out front, 8/10 of the second lead for Christopher Sproul with 14 to go. Anthony Gaudio is going to have to find something here in the closing laps of this race if he wants any shot.
It looks like he's trying a late apex on the corner, trying to carry more speed down the straightaways, but I think that center speed is costing him a lot more than he's able to gain by the run he's getting off the corner there. Looks like making the adjustment now to go back to the inside here for 1 and 2. Gap staying pretty even. Only losing about 100th there out of 1 and 2. And again, the same correction back to the bottom in 3 and 4.
Yeah, and I see what he's doing. He's searching around trying to find stuff. So that tells me he doesn't think he has enough, whatever he was doing before, to get by his 14. So right now he's searching, trying to find something. Right now he's going back to that bottom line. But gave up a lot of time there during that little bit of searching phase.
Well, he was able to gain a little bit through 1 and 2 that last time, but I think, seeing that Chris Merle was so good during the mid-run of the first half of this race, I think these cautions, the way that they felt, just kind of played into his hand. Really shortened up the amount of time we were going to have during this last bit of the race and allowed him to kind of press his advantage a bit. And now Anthony trying to find something, like you said, to reel him back in. But lap time's getting a little bit better now. Now down to 8/10 and closing.
Yeah, he definitely is closing that gap in. 31-31 out front to a 31-24 behind. We'll have to see what it is this time. But I tell you what, they get into a little bit of contact or some type of little bit of controversy there. Brian Fine, Jeff Carson, not too far behind, also the Stephen Carey in that 5th position. So top 5 within reaching distance. And I tell you, another driver who liked that incident between Harold Rothman and Milwaukee was David Edwards. That gave him 2 free spots now up to that 6th position with teammate Matt Brook in 2nd.
David Edwards really hoping to just get into the top 5 here, but looks like a second back from that of Stephen Carey in the 5th position, just trying to minimize his point loss to Chris Sproul. And he's just got to try to manage. He can't give up any more than, say, 8 points or so every single race, and he will still be able to lock himself in as the regular season champion, with Chris Sproul being 29 points back. So just trying to minimize losses here, doing a really good job of it so far, and showing a lot of speed as well. Just a little bit slower last time than Stephen Carey. I think there just may not be enough time here, being about a second difference between them on the track right now.
Yeah, definitely a little bit quicker. Just don't think enough time for sure, buddy. So it's just going to be one of those things where Edwards, I think, will come up a little bit short there. But, looking back up front with Smerol and Gaudio, last 2 times by, they pretty much matched each other. Oh, and Hendry in the 28, he goes around. What a save. I'm telling you what, guys, that was a heck of a save. I don't know how Justin Hendry did that.
Yeah, that's just realizing that you were in a really bad spot, got pretty heavy on the brakes. Oh, a little bit of overcorrection there. Heavy on the brakes to get it straightened back out, not pulling out the caution there. I'm sure the rest of these guys are going to benefit that, but definitely not to his benefit, giving up a lot of track position. But you know what? It looks good on the highlight reel.
Definitely does. And with him being on the outside looking in on that top 16, definitely not something he wants to put out there right now, is losing some points. And he'll have 3 races left to get done. And if you guys miss him tonight, he should be pretty close after it's all said and done. But, Harold Rothbury all over the back bumper of Zach Sandlin. As Zach Sandlin has now took over 8th, as Rothbury has something to say about it, though, as he exits off all 4. And he can't make the pass, but here comes Richard Gonzalez.
This guy's battling pretty hard back here for the back of the top 10. And again, Sandlin getting that curb, going out a little bit wide. Harold Rothbury able to pinch it down and get a little bit less track to deal with. Looking for something, maybe feinting moves to the inside, hoping to get Sandlin to overdrive, but kind of played himself a little bit there getting the overdrive, but it worked out in his benefit. Going to get a great run off the corner here. Oh man, these guys, they just cannot figure out what they need to do to gain the advantage.
Yeah, 5 laps to go. Looks like everybody's running something different. It's kind of, taking away their advantage, so to say, and exit off a 2 here. It looks like before Harold Rothbury is going to try to get the run. Oh man, looks like the 57 going to take that bottom line there and really have that advantage right there on the bottom line.
And they're both trying to keep it painted on the apron, getting a really good launch off the corner, just mirroring each other. And you see this time Sandlin going to cover off the inside. Looks like a little bit of a wider entry for Hendry. Getting right up to the back bumper here, catching a little bit of curb, a little bit out of shape, but a little bit closer this time. Oh, might go for the dive bomb. Cue the Stuka sirens. Oh, almost gets to it. Oh, that was close.
Almost to the back bumper, and what you can see is the difference there is Sandlin a little bit quicker in, Rothbury quicker through the center, and with Sandlin there in front of him there, it's taking that advantage away from the 4, rolling that bottom, and that 57 just going to have the drive off there, but all the 4 could have done there was give him a good old boop, but he elected not to, and that slides him back 2 spots as Milwaukee now up tonight, as he'll try to close into this position Gonzalez spot.
Sandlin definitely tipping the cap to Harold Rothbury there for avoiding that contact, even if it cost him that position. So definitely going to be appreciating that. But now looks like Richard Gonzalez trying to take advantage of that.
Richard Gonzalez trying to take advantage. Yes, he does. He slides up and past before Harold Rothbury. He's looking to finish 10th here. This is the final spot for the top 10. As Smirl comes out of turn 4 this time, we're going to have our Sheffield Graphics white flag in the air. 1.2 second lead back, or 1.5 second lead back to Anthony Guardian in that second spot. Smirl had the 3 all over his back bumper during the first run after getting the pass early in the race. He has now pulled himself away in the second half, figured it out, and this man is going to go to victory lane here tonight in the ARCA Evolution Series. Chris Smirl is your Sheffield Graphics race winner here tonight at the Milwaukee Mile.
Oh, Jeff Carson, oh no.
Oh, Jeff Carson spins.
Oof. Able to get it across in 6th. Man, just trying to get everything he could for to get Brian Fine out of turn 4. Almost hit the entry to pit road there, so that was a great job missing that, only giving up to 1 position. That was extremely fortunate.
Oh, man. Yeah, going to drop back to that 6th spot there after coming out of turn 4 in 4th position, but I know somebody's done that before, so it can happen.
Yeah. Very easy to do.
Happens to the best of them, as they say. As Chris Smirl's going to bring his 14 around here on down to, whoa, man. It touched. Never mind. I was about to say that was the perfect burnout. But a little bit of touch in the rear there, but he's going to burn it down here on the first show to celebrate his Sheffield Graphics race winning moment here tonight at the Milwaukee Mile. We'll be back here in a few moments, everybody, as we compile our top 3 finishers, and we'll get a chat with them. So don't miss that, and we'll be right back. All right, we're back here, everybody, with our top 3 finishers here tonight for the ARCA Evolution Series here at the Milwaukee Mile. First up, we got our third place man, Brian Fine. What a run for him tonight in that 98 here at the Milwaukee Mile. Let's hear what he has to say after his podium finish. Hey, Brian, it's Zach up in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. Got you out in the player.
10-4, Brian. Well, man, I think you're a little bit low for us, but definitely a great race out there for you tonight, man. In that 98, you're able to start in that 5th position, look very quick in practice, and definitely showed that as the race went on, as you made some really solid passes to get yourself back up into position. And then at the end, they're able to bring it home in 3rd, man. How was that run out there tonight?
It was good. It's good tonight, that's for sure.
You got a copy, Brian?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, it's a little bit low. But we'll try. We'll just go ahead with. But yeah, how was the race there for you, man?
It was good. It was real good. No complaints or anything like that. Just a solid run.
Yeah, definitely a solid run for you out there tonight, man. The 98. Coming in here tonight in that 12th position in points, so looking pretty solid when it comes to making that top 16 here. As we have 3 races left, but you also got 4 top 5s coming in tonight. So here's your 5th top 5. How you feel about going into the playoffs here, Brian? As we got 3 races left.
Feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good tonight. No issues, no problems. Just keep running, trying to make top 5s here and there, and just keep doing what I'm doing. Thanks to teammates like Justin and I coaching me through, and let's just keep going into the playoffs.
Yeah, definitely looking good for you guys, man. You've shown a lot of speed, and I think you're definitely a dark horse going into the thing when it all kicks off for sure. As not had as many starts. Once this kicks off there, it'll be all even again, my friend, and you'll be able to have a good shot at this thing. But congrats on 3rd here tonight, Brian. Before we let you go, man, anybody want to send a shout to?
Shout out to my girlfriend. I know her birthday was last Sunday, this past Sunday. Big shout out to her. Big shout out to everybody here, admins, you guys up in the booth for broadcasting. Let's go into next week and keep the momentum rolling.
That would be awesome to see for yourself, Brian, man. You have a great week, and you have a fantastic night. We'll catch you next week, buddy.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right. That was Brian Fine there. As I think he found the microphone there late in the going, but we got a good word from him. It's great running that 98. That guy, like I said, I think a dark horse coming into it because he's shown that, late run speed, and that late run speed can come back to be a real big factor when it comes to playoff time. But let's go ahead and move on to our 2nd place man of Anthony Gaudio. He's been on a hot streak as he continues that top 5 streak after bringing home 2nd tonight. Let's hear what he has to say. Hey, Anthony, it's Zach up in the booth. You got a copy, man?
Yes, sir.
Hey, buddy. Well, what a battle out there between you and Chris tonight, man. You're able to bring it home on that with the pole early in the go and having that lead. He gets by you. And then he seemed like he was starting to sell a little bit. You ran him back down, and then that caution came out right before the pit sequences happened. But man, what a battle between you two! Just describe to us out there what it was like out there.
Yeah, I mean, you guys called it. It's a 1-lane race. I mean, I tried everything I could to get the outside to work. I mean, the restarts were the only opportunities I really had. I mean, because Chris wasn't making mistakes, and if it was very little, and it was enough for me to just catch him a little bit. But then I had to be consistent because if I made one little mistake, that time that I gained is gone. So it's I was being really not too aggressive on the restarts. I probably should have been a little more. I try to race clean, with Chris, and I was a little passive against him. But I don't know. Next time I might have to, intimidate him a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely, you never know. I have to rub elbows a little bit sometimes to get that battle because man, you guys were just so close on speed, and it probably seemed like whoever could really just get out front there and not make the mistake was probably gonna be the guy to beat. And at the end there, he definitely made a good adjustment. It seems to make himself pretty quick there to the end, man. But what a run again for yourself. You're continuing that hot streak rolling through right before we head to the playoffs. Next week we hit Indy, the 2.5 mile speedway track, man. That's going to be intense in these ARCA cars. What do you feel like going into there?
It's going to be very fast. And I'm excited. I like fast. I like those big tracks. We'll
Yeah,
see.
I think you guys could put on a heck of a show there, man. These cars here, less aero dependent. It seems like I think you guys are gonna be able to really put on a show and slip and slide around that 2.5 mile high speed
My
racetrack, and it's
job's going to be
flat.
coming in.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Definitely will be, my friend. But what a great run again here for yourself tonight, man. Before we let you go and celebrate this, anybody wants to send a shout to?
My team, JCR, giving me a good car. Shout out to Chris for the win. And my family, truly blessed. Glad to be here. Again, you guys, appreciate what you do.
Well, we appreciate you guys out there, Anthony, just as much, man. If without y'all, we couldn't put on this show. And each and every week, it's a blast to be here. But, man, congrats on second. We'll catch you next week at Indy, buddy.
See you there, man. Have a good one.
You too, buddy. All right, that was the three of Anthony Gaudio, your second place finisher here tonight. As now we got our race winner, brought to you by Sheffield Graphics, Chris Morrell, able to bring home the victory here tonight at the Milwaukee Mile. 6th of the season. This guy has been on fire, and I think he'll be happy to be back in victory lane after a little bit of time. Hey, Chris, Zach up in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Zach, nice to see you. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, man. Great to have you back up here in victory lane once again, my friend. 6th win of the season, and what a good time to do it 3 weeks before the playoffs kick off. What a battle out there. And man, we talked to you during that caution period, the first caution we got, and it seemed like the 3 was definitely, he had something for you, but whatever you did in that second half of the race there, it seems like you might have figured something out.
Yeah, we we were chatting in the waiting booth there, and I think I don't know what he said on the interview, so I don't want to speak for him, but it sounds like he was kicking himself for not being just a little more aggressive. But I'll tell you what, that inside line was working. I tried to save a little bit more on entry. It seemed like, normally where you want to back corners up for that long run speed, for some reason you could kind of send it on this track a little bit more and without any real fall off. I mean, I was at like 90% or something like that on my tires on the caution. So I don't know, we'll have to explore that, the physics behind that a little bit more. But yeah, I just tried to maintain. I didn't want to get too far ahead. I saw him on Anthony on the second run there drop back to about a second, but at the same time, I knew I had to hit my marks, because with knowing Gaudio, that could have just been him cooling his tires off a little bit, ready to make another run. So just, maintaining, hitting my marks and not really worrying about, tires, fuel, the other guys. That's kind of what I was just trying to focus on, lap after lap, just get into a groove.
Yeah, man. Well, I'll tell you what, you definitely did it there at the end, kept your groove, and was able to bring home that checker flag. Now, 6th victory of the season, good momentum here before heading off into the playoffs. And that's kind of what I want to talk to you about is, this season we've kind of noticed it's been kind of hot streaks for guys, especially, the season started off, David Edwards was very, very strong. Then it seemed like Hunter Hayward came in and he really started to hit on all 4 cylinders. He moved up to the Cup Series. Then you really started to take over, and then Anthony Gaudio period kind of came in. And now, with this victory tonight, it seems like the battle that's going to shake up in these playoffs with so many guys with a shot at this, man, it's going to be really important, I think, to have momentum going into it, and especially beating guys like Anthony each of these next 3 weeks, man. So how do you feel about going through the next 3 weeks, and what do you want to do before the playoffs kick off?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, the competition is just so stiff, and you like really savor each podium, much less each victory, And my goal is to be on the upswing of one of those hot streaks during the playoffs. It's a very challenging playoff schedule, in my opinion. There's short tracks and super speedways where I feel like you kind of have your fate in your hands, but not really. Like, especially for me, I feel like those are kind of my worst tracks. So I'm going to real focus down on the tracks that I feel I'm the best at, try to pick one each round, and hope that I'm on a hot streak going into it, and am able to hold those other guys off. I mean, you mentioned a couple of them, but you throw Stephen Carey in there. I'm sorry, I'm blanking right now. It's a lot. We talked about the baby
Lots.
thing and a lot of sleepless nights,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean. Like there's Justin Malarkey's coming on hot too. I know.
Yep.
He hasn't really. He's got the one victory, but if you look at his finishes coming up, he's my MR73 teammate, so I'm very aware of it. But yeah, he's on the upswing too, so he's going to be one of those dark horses. I think that your teammates, but you also got to keep an eye on him at the same time. Like, oh crap! So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I think that the viewers are in for a treat when it comes playoff time. There's going to be a lot of storylines unfolding.
Oh, I think it's going to be a treat for sure, not only for us up here in the booth, but the viewers at home and you drivers out on the track, man. So we can't wait for that all to get kicked off, but we got 3 weeks before that all happens. So congrats on the victory tonight. Before we let you go, Chris, as always, man, who you want to send a shout out to?
Well, I was very fortunate earlier in the week to be able to dedicate a race win to my newborn daughter. So I'm going to dedicate this one to my boys and my wife, just because, obviously having the newborn daughter is special, but the whole family is really what makes it, tick and click for me. And so I love them, and this is for them. And my teammates, MR73 Racing, Justin, like we mentioned before, Jake and Matt, just a great group of dudes to kind of strategize with and talk to and hang out with. And by extension, the whole league, really. I mean, you said it. All these guys are just a blast. It's super competitive field, very clean racing. Anthony could have made any number of moves on me, and that what I would expect, in a public race or any other league, really. And we race each other cleanly, and I hope I can extend that to them further down the road, because that's just how we roll. So hats off to those guys. The admins, Ryan especially, they just put on a great product. And last but not least, you guys. And it's just such a treat to watch this back, and just the passion and the excitement that you guys bring to it is kind of, it's awesome. But it's just like, holy cow, you got people up in a broadcast booth talking about us. It's just kind of surreal sometimes, but either way, we really appreciate it.
Hey, man, well, we appreciate it with you drivers out there. You guys put on a show for us to be able to do this passionate love work we do that we bring here each Tuesday night, man. But I tell you what, congrats on the 6th win of the season. Celebrate this thing, man. Have some great night with your family, and we'll catch you in a week here at Indy.
Awesome. You guys take care of yourselves. We'll see you around.
You too, buddy. All right, that was Chris Morrow, your race winner here tonight, brought to you by Sheffield Graphics. What a win for him. 6th of the season here at the ARCA Evolution Series. Man, congrats to him once again. Well, let's go ahead and bring up our race results after a wild 80 laps here at the Milwaukee Mile, as we'll get ready to go to the Milwaukee Mile later for the RSR Cup Series. Don't miss out on that, actually, at 9:20 Eastern here live on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. But here is our race results. First is going to be Chris Morrow. Second is going to go to Anthony Gaudio. Third is going to be Brian Fine. Fourth is going to be Stephen Carey. Fifth is going to go to Points Leader David Edwards. Sixth is going to be Jeff Carson. Seventh is Matt Upbrook. Eighth is going to go to Zach Sandlin. Ninth, Justin Malarkey. 10th is going to be Richard Gonzalez. 11th is Harold Rothery. 12th is going to be Jake Cachet. 13th is going to go to James Wright. 14th, Josh Holmes. 15th is going to be Steven Rasick. 16th, Justin Hendry. And running your field in the 17th position will be Bob Fitzpatrick Sr., as that is your race results here tonight from the Milwaukee Mile for the ARCA Evolution Series. Brandon, what a night we've had here so far. Can't wait to see what the Cup Series guys can do. But, man, do you think any of this could transition, or do you think there's anything we could learn to transition over to that Cup Series race?
Well, I think the biggest thing is that it's pretty one groove, Zach. Can't really make the outside work for very long after a restart. You got about a lap, maybe two, that the outside is going to work, but everybody's going to have to make their transition to that bottom lane, and tire management going to be key. Track position going to matter a whole lot more than normally anywhere else we would go, I'd expect, except for somewhere like Martinsville even. But I'm excited for it. It's definitely going to be a challenge with the extra horsepower that the Cup cars are going to have, and I'll have to see if those guys can keep it underneath them. But they're in the Cup Series for a reason. I'm sure they're up to the challenge.
Oh, yes, it's going to be a challenge for sure, and I'm sure the Cup Series drivers are up for it. As we've seen, the ARCA Series guys already take that on, so congrats to them for putting on one heck of a show here tonight at the Milwaukee Mile. But like we said, don't miss that at 9:20 Eastern here live on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. We have the RSR Cup Series hitting the Milwaukee Mile for 165 laps, so That will be wild, one way for sure, and don't miss out on that. But we'll send it up to Robert Moyer Jr., our producer here, to close out our ARCA Series broadcast for tonight.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, everybody out there, for tuning in there tonight on YouTube. We do much appreciate it. It was pretty awesome seeing the fans come out and chat and take up some notes for tonight's race here at 9:20, like these gentlemen said here at RSR Cup Series at 9:20 will be Eastern here on YouTube. So hopefully we catch everybody then. And I also want to let everybody else know out there, if you don't mind here, after you do watch this, or if you're watching this live, post your comments below on this video of what you thought about this race and information about this race, and chat it up down there, and we'll reply back to it accordingly as planned, as fast as we can. But, well, we'll catch everybody at 9:20 here tonight. Brandon, Zach, and Robert here in the booth want to say God bless everybody. We love you all. Peace out.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.